Doc, how do you think Christians should view the concept of the rapture? And what implications does it have for our daily lives? I like this question because I think back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, the rapture was...
Yes.
Yeah, there were movies, songs, about it. But nowadays, I don't know what has happened.
There was even a movie as The Left Behind.
Yes, very popular. Productions.
Yeah.
Yes,
and you know the reason why the theology of rapture became so popular. One of the reasons is because first and foremost, it was the recent development of at the end of 19th and 20th, beginning of 20th century, which was brought about by the not the historical premillennialism, but the dispensational premillennialism. And the majority of the mainline churches that came as a result of revival in Africa and so forth and so on, they came from that particular point of view. And this was very much propagated by people like John Darby and Scofield, and it was very much embedded in the American politics, so to speak. It's quite very popular, the issue of the rapture, which stands very well in the framework of dispensational kind of understanding eschatology. If you don't hold on to that framework, the secret rapture does not make sense at all. It's quite very popular notion, what we call secret rapture. It's because the proponent of this view, they've already framed a history in dispensations. We have the dispensation of the gospel, which is the dispensation of the church, according to them. After the dispensation of the church, there will be another dispensation of the Great Tribulation. And after the Great Tribulation dispensation, we have 1,000 years as a dispensation, then we'll have eternity. And so the secret rapture fits in just before the Great Tribulation. So they believe that before the Great Tribulation, the church will be raptured, will be taken away, escaping the world, so to speak, and the church will go and stay for 7 years with Jesus in the air, and then two major things will take place there. First, it will be the Bema seat, the reward, the judgment, or the tribune of the believers. They will be evaluated. They don't call it judgment. They call it the evaluation of believers. Believers will be given crowns and so forth. And then that will be followed by the second thing, which is the marriage supper of the Lamb. And so the idea of the secret rapture, which is taken mainly from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 17, it has got an idea of escaping the world. So the church has to be raptured before a period known as the Great Tribulation, and the church goes away. And this notion is not biblical. It does not really align with the scriptures at all. The idea of escapism, trying to escape the world because there will be a great tribulation. The Antichrist appears when the church is no more here, and the great tribulation happens on earth and so forth. And so it's not grounded in the historic Reformed theology or even the overall teaching of Scripture. It arises primarily from dispensational framework. When you've already come up with a framework, you begin to force scriptures to fit into that framework that you've already come up with. Biblically speaking, if we were to talk about rapture, it has got no notion of escaping or running away from earth. It's not something that happens before a particular dispensation. The rapture, according to the Bible, is something that happens, it refers to the final return of Christ. And the church is raptured not in escaping anything, but the church is going to welcome Jesus. It's just like, a particular important politician is coming, or maybe a president of the country who has been away for years and years or for months and months. Now he's coming back. People, they will organize themselves, mobilizing themselves, and going to welcome him at the airport or something like that. So that's the understanding of rapture in the Bible. So the church is not escaping anything. It happens first and foremost, not before any dispensation known as Great Tribulation. And secondly, it happens when Jesus returns. The church is just going to welcome the King who is coming, and for eternity they live together. This is the understanding of rapture in biblical sense, not like trying to escape at all on earth. Now, the implication of this is this. We are not to retreat, as believers. We are not to retreat from the world in fear, but we are to engage the world faithfully with the gospel hope. Because the idea of rapture is escaping, is running away, from what they call Great Tribulation. It's not escaping at all. So the true focus should be readiness. Believers should be ready. Believers should be holy, should be involved in missions and the endurance, not escaping tribulation. Because this period we call gospel age is already a period of tribulation. The church has always been in tribulation. There will not be such a thing as great tribulation again. This same gospel age is the age where the gospel is preached under so much intense persecution in various places. We may not feel it in Zambia here and there, but the church has always gone through that kind of tribulation. And so it is not good to undermine the tribulation of the first century or second, or even how the church has always been there. So that's the understanding, the biblical understanding of rapture, if we can put it like that, in inverted comma. It is going to welcome the King who is coming to reign.
Yes.
It is not something to do with escaping Great Tribulation. That notion is nowhere in Scripture. It fits in the framework of dispensational kind of approach of understanding eschatology.